Welcome back to FlowState. How are you doing? How has your week been? I hope it's been full of aligned action, momentum, vitality, clarity, a sense of calm, alignment with your greater self and purpose. Today, we're going to go on a little adventure through a couple of different little towns on the north coast of Tenerife. We've been in this general area for a few weeks now, and I'm enjoying the vibe. So come along today while we talk about vitality. Today's topic is all about vitality, tapping in to the power plant that is in all of us. First and foremost, I would like to extend an invitation for you to join us on Thursday. Every Thursday, Everyday Action Live drops, and we have group coaching, training, and an opportunity to extend your growth through aligned actions within the context of the Growth Blueprint curriculum, and if you're interested, one-on-one coaching. So you get an opportunity to experience what it feels like to participate in group coaching, where you can express yourself wholly in our private community. Take advantage of this. Right now, it's free at no cost to you. So this is a great opportunity for you to take advantage of. And we also have some special bonuses that are exclusive to those who join. So this week's topic, vitality, vitality, vitality. Vitality is the foundation to the Growth Blueprint. It is the foundation to life. If we don't have the energy to seize the day, we won't have the energy to be able to support others, to enrich the lives of people through the work we do, the meaningful contributions we look to make in the world. This is so vital to the way we show up for ourselves, to the way that we're supporting others, to the people who are making a difference in our life, looking to create an opportunity for them in the best possible way is so important, because without the energy to do what we want to do in life, we're going to feel sluggish. We're going to feel like it's a constant battle that is so draining over time. It's something that can't be understated how depleting it is to be constantly fighting against something that feels like you're pushing boulders up a hill. And when we tap into vitality, we're able to get clarity in our capacity to create, to amplify our efforts. Something that I think, if you're on social media, you've been inundated with some form of vitality media. So sleep in the last year has been something that has been discussed ad nauseum, and for good reason. It is one of the most important steps within the concept of vitality to get right. Your body needs the rest that it requires in order to restart momentum the following day. If you don't have adequate sleep, you are perpetually in a deficit. And so sometimes I talk to people like this and they say, well, look at all this stuff that I've accomplished. Look at everything, and I only sleep, 5 hours a night. And my simple response to them is, well, imagine what you could have accomplished with 7 to 9 hours of sleep a night. Just let that hit for a moment. It's like, do you understand the difference between being in a deficit and understanding that there's room for growth, and even more so, the opportunities that you're leaving on the table. You know, in business, you often talk about leaving money on the table when you're not really leveraging everything that you can to be able to maximize your profit and whatever it is that you're seeking. It's the same thing for vitality. It's the same thing for sleep. Your ability to create whatever it is that you want to create in your life is based on how much energy you have, how much bandwidth you have available to you. Or in technology terms, how much compute power you have available. So we've all been there using our computer, trying to do multiple things at once. And if you don't have enough random access memory, your computer is slowly going to stop working. It's a very real technological limitation to the requirement of how much RAM you have available to do whatever you want. It's the same thing with your brain. You can only do what your brain has the capacity to support you with at any given time. So think of it like random access memory. The difference is that where in a computer, your random access memory is capped to whatever you have available, as in the hardware, our brains have the incredible capacity of perpetual growth. As long as you're supporting your brain, your body in the appropriate way, you have essentially untapped potential in reserve. And now accessing it through aligned action is your responsibility. But it all starts with having the reserve energy and bandwidth for you to leverage. If you're constantly in a sleep deficit, you will never reach your full potential. Optimizing sleep, it is the single best thing you can do to amplify productivity. Let me say that again. Optimizing sleep is the single best thing you can do to amplify productivity. In addition to feeling fucking better, in addition to showing up better, in addition to increasing your performance, it's not just about productivity, it's about how you can leverage a fully rested mind and body to amplify whatever it is that you're looking to do. Massive game changer when you're going from 5 hours of sleep to 7 hours of sleep. And you've heard me talk about this before. Sleep really begins with your evening routine. You know, it may seem obvious, and your morning routine is not really as relevant as your evening routine. Because your morning is really a catalyst, a springboard for action. But nothing is going to offset a shitty night's sleep. I don't give a fuck how good your morning routine is. If you are waking up tired, if you're waking up like the weight of the world is on you, that morning routine's not gonna fucking do anything for you. But if you wake up refreshed, if you wake up feeling like, woo, I just crushed 8 hours of sleep, man, that changes things. So many of our problems collectively can be resolved by a good night's sleep. It just never ceases to amaze me. And let's get personal for a minute. Yesterday, I had a great night's sleep. I was locked in. The day before, not so much. My yesterday, kind of fucked. It's not something that happens often, other than when I'm choosing to compromise my sleep for specific activities that are enriching my life in a meaningful way, and I'm choosing to not feel optimal for that purpose. And that's amazing, because that's a conscious choice that I'm making. And the main principle here is that we're not doing this every day, that we're feeling aligned with our future and taking the necessary steps to realize the future that we're looking for ourselves. Now, every once in a while, we're all human. We like to have fun, cut loose, but understand that all of these actions really remove us in some way from the path that we're in alignment to. So it's not to say that the activities and the compromises that we make, really, I misspoke. It's not about compromise, it's about aligned action. And a compromise, for me at this point, is really the disconnect that one has with aligned action and lack of clarity. So that's when we get, juiced up about making compromise, because it's almost like cheating in a way, as opposed to making intentional choices where we feel connected to the future and say, hey, I'm choosing this over this because of this. And then I'm going to get back on my path so that the next block of time, right, like a week, 2 weeks, we're going to have a little bit of a deficit there, but we're choosing that deficit for this experience. And I'm all about that, and I think it's also really important that we detach from the rigidity of a system that is there to support and help us, but very much like effective training and swapping out exercises that you've been hammering away for a while. It's refreshing. It brings a new spirit and clarity and momentum into the flow. But the important thing is to get back on track after. And these are all intentional choices that we're making, premeditated. We've given thought to what it is that we're doing. Huge difference between conscious and unconscious behavior, especially as it relates to the choices that we're making, the actions that we're taking, and what it is that we're looking to achieve with this momentum that we're creating. But it all comes back to vitality. It always fundamentally comes back to vitality, because a shit night's sleep can't be course corrected by anything other than reclaiming the lost sleep. You can offset the consequences of having a horrible night's sleep by taking 20 grams of creatine or methylated B vitamins, fasting, cardio, weight training. But if we're prioritizing our health and wellness, these are simply tools at our disposal for short-term course correction. It's not a long-term sustainable model for alignment with vitality, feeling empowered, strong, healthy, so you can conquer the day, conquer the week, conquer the month, do everything you want to do. I don't know about you, but I am excited in the morning. I am hungry for life, hungry for the day ahead. I am not one to wake up and feel a sense of dread. This is a byproduct of all of the work that happens in the growth blueprint and the one-on-one coaching curriculum, right? It's all based on having clarity, compounding through a sequence of systems and modalities that are there to support you so that you know where you're going, how you're going to get there, and you have the support system to lean on when you're confronted with resistance, knowing full well that you can leverage these tools to gain clarity and tap in to a grounding force that propels you in a meaningful way, not just thinking that you have a bunch of busy stuff to do and so you're going to be busy. You're better off taking a nap, reclaiming your center, and getting clarity on your aligned action than just trying to stack a bunch of to-dos on top of one another to give the illusion of momentum. That's really not at all productive. It may feel like you're making progress, but that's not the case. So, vitality, vitality, vitality. I love this topic. It's something that I have leaned into profoundly to be able to reinvent myself from the ground up, leveraging the growth blueprint to be able to amplify every day the compounding nature of what and who I want to be. We need to be thinking about this constantly in order for us to have the clarity that we seek. We need to be thinking about this constantly to ensure that we are being locked in by big, bright lines, guiding us towards the direction that feels most in alignment, not just with our business, our relationships, but our self, our identity. And we're never going to get there without vitality. We're never going to get there without feeling just raw power of exuberance. And we may get there. Some people may. I mean, it's, not to say that there aren't very successful people who are able to achieve incredible things with compromised vitality. And again, just think about what they're leaving on the table, what they're giving up for this illusion of progress. Even the most ambitious individuals, biology doesn't change. You're not going to rewrite what studies have conclusively, I was searching for a word there, conclusively. So, okay, look, let me just reframe that. Little tongue twister there. Study after study, result after result, they all say the same thing. Adults, 7 to 9 hours of sleep. It's a large window because not everybody is the same, obviously, but there's no debating that you need 7 to 9 hours of sleep on a regular basis if you want to be optimal in your biology. That's the first step. It's not to say that you can then disregard nutrition, but you know what? In many instances, if you're getting enough sleep and maybe your diet is not perfect, but you move your body, as long as you're not overeating too much, that's it, baby. Sleep is that motherfucking secret pill. The pill that everyone wishes they could put in a capsule. That and the feeling that you get after an intense cardio session or weight training session. You know, there is no such thing as depression if you sleep well, if you train hard, and you look after your mental health. There is no such thing. That doesn't exist. But if you're sedentary, if you feel lost in your daily life, and that compounds into poor eating, poor sleep, lack of movement, yeah, no fucking shit, you're gonna be depressed. You're gonna feel like shit. And you're gonna think that that's how you feel normally, but you've been so suboptimal for so long. The idea of what normal feels like to you is some kind of fucked up perversion. You know, it has nothing to do with reality or the possibility of reality. It is this dysfunctional space that you're living in, and that's horrible. No one should want that for themselves. And the path to growth is confronting the resistance that's impeding your ability to take action in the moment because you're relying on your emotional state to give you permission to do the thing. But it's never going to happen in the way you want it to if you don't confront the resistance that you're fighting against. And the only way to do that is to take aligned action. A simple step. So let me ask you, and you can drop the response in the comments below, if you felt more energized every day, what is the first thing that comes to mind that you would like to accomplish? If you had a little bit more energy in your life, what would that do for you? Would you feel like you could play with your young kids just that 10% more? That you could throw them up in the air when they say, "Mommy, Daddy, throw me up in the air." And you're like, I'm too tired. What? What? You're too tired to play with your child? That moment in time is gone, man. You just gave that up for some bullshit. Think about how this would impact your relationships. Think about how this would impact the way you show up at work. Your ability to communicate more eloquently because your brain has the bandwidth to handle greater levels of demand. You don't need to kill yourself at the gym either. You don't need to say like, oh, fucking 4 hours a day, gonna run a marathon every other day. No, that's just dumb fucking thinking, okay? We're in this for the long game. This is all about sustainable long-term growth that ends when you die. It's not about a sprint and then being fucked up and then not having the energy or the bandwidth to recover, and then you get discouraged and then you're like, oh, I don't really feel like it. And then you succumb to all of these feelings predicated on resistance, predicated on challenge, predicated on discomfort. There is no growth without challenge. You don't grow in comfort. You don't progress when things are easy. Growth and challenge, non-negotiable. There is no such thing as growth when you're not being pushed, when you're not being challenged effectively. And vitality is the catalyst for your capacity to be challenged, to take on more meaningful, substantive work in your life. Like, how can I choose to feel better every fucking day? What is it that I have to be thinking about to be able to charge myself up to feel joy when I'm doing something that has traditionally been something that I have not enjoyed? In my coaching and guidance practice, I speak to this, speaking with clients directly about how they want to feel when engaged in an activity. How do they want to feel when confronted with a challenge? And go through the process of projecting this feeling into the state of action. It's not something we can leave up to chance. It's not something we want to leave up to chance, because then we're going to be steamrolled by the world, by extrinsic factors that are toxic, that are not of our choosing, allowing others to influence us. And we end up losing our power and our grip on our universe. And then we can be bullied into doing things we don't want to do, feeling indifferent about ourself, allowing thoughts of shame. Am I doing it right? All of these things to come into our mind and corrupt our soul. Fuck that. I preach power, control, alignment, presence, intention. Operating from a place of internal power created by ourself. You don't seek power extrinsically. You create it intrinsically. Walking is a miracle fucking drug, okay? The University of Southern Australia did a meta-analysis of over 1,000 studies, and they concluded that 30 minutes of brisk walking is more effective than prescription medicine or basically anything else. So all the fucking pharmacology can't compete with biology. But no, it's like, you just don't fucking do it. It's because so many people, so many of us are resistant to growth because it's uncomfortable, because we default to comfort. We're creatures of comfort. It's easy. We want easy things. Humans don't want difficult things. We want easy things in life. But that gets fucking boring. And when you're bored, you know, unfortunate things happen when you're bored. Because it's an opportunity for escape. Because you're so fucking numb, you can't even handle yourself anymore. And so you default to drinking, you default to eating, you default to Netflix, you default to Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, you default to audiobooks, trash audiobooks, which are entertaining, you know, whatever, it's all good, but not as a mechanism to alleviate the discomfort of everything you're leaving on the table. because you're sedentary, because you're not fucking thinking about 2 seconds ahead. You're just about instant gratification, which is why you're stuck, which is why you have lack of momentum. You don't even know what the motive is anymore. But I'm here to tell you the solution is a 30-minute brisk walk every fucking day, forever. If that is the least amount of effort you're willing to put up, try that for 30 days and let me know in the comments what the output of that is, how you feel. Mark day 1 in your calendar, journal. If you're interested in some journal prompts that will help you get clarity, help you stay on track, provide some level of introspection, drop in the comments, and I'm more than happy to provide you with a list. In fact, if you want to take the next aligned action, click the link in the video description, the 10 steps to everyday action. You'll get an ebook and a 100-day email course. This is your first step. This is the first thing that will set you on your path. Come talk to me in 30 days. Tell me how you feel. Tell me how you sleep. What moments, what aha moments, what breakthroughs have transpired in those 30 days? And if you can't commit to 30 days, how about you commit to 3 days? Can you do that? Can you commit to 3 days? 3 days of taking a walk. 3 days of saying, hey, I'm giving myself permission to feel better, to sleep better, so that I can love more, so I can receive love. I am worthy of love. I am worthy of respect. Because I respect myself, because I respect my choices. No more am I going to succumb to the temptation of laziness, of discontent, of feeling overwhelmed, of feeling lost. I am reclaiming my power. I'm taking aligned action. It's going to be a process. It's going to take time. It's going to take years. And you want it to take years. You want it to take decades. The progress is in the practice, is you showing the fuck up every day with a mental fortitude on the path to anti-fragility. Showing up when it's raining, when it's uncomfortable, feeling the need for something greater, and then taking aligned action, smashing resistance, fucking breaking it through. Because if you don't have that attitude, if you're not locked in, if you're not in practice every day, watch what happens when something benign jostles you. Watch what happens when you're confronted with a challenge that is just outside of the spectrum of what is in your capacity to handle in that moment. You get blasted is what happens. You get fucking destroyed. And then all of these negative thinking patterns come right to the surface. It's like they've been itching for an opportunity to explode. It's like those characters in that Pixar movie, Elemental. You know, joy, sadness, anger. They're just sitting in your brain, sitting in your essence, just waiting for the opportunity to fucking pop up. All of the limiting beliefs that you've recited over and over and over about your life, about failures, about missed opportunities. It's like you're making a movie of your life constantly. And your brain is like, instead of Netflix, it's all this fucking VHS, you know? We're old school. We haven't evolved to the point of Netflix yet. So it's like the little robot picking out that fucking melancholic, explosive catalyst for feeling like absolute fucking shit for the next 5 hours. Play. I don't fucking think so. Not today, motherfucker. Fuck you and your VHS. I want high fidelity thinking. It doesn't just happen. You need to be in practice. You need to be consistently doing the hard thing, challenging yourself. But you can't do that if you're feeling consistently depleted. Vitality, 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 vitality. Your fucking mantra for the week. Tap into vitality and bring the motherfucking joy. Yes. Put a smile on your face when you're winded, when you're feeling totally destroyed because you had the mental fortitude to push yourself on a walk, in the gym, run up a fucking mountain, do whatever it takes, put yourself in the uncomfortable position of choosing growth over anything else. Watch how you feel. Day 1, it's gonna feel like you went to war. Day 2, if you did it right, you're gonna be a little sore. Day 3, you fucking lace up and you do it again. Because if you don't, you actually haven't done the thing. It's a false start. You lined up on the starting line, the gun went, but you know what? You went before the fucking shot was fired. And then bang, you gotta start all over again. It's about creating a sustainable rhythm to live inside that's leveraging rest and recovery and physical movement and nutrition. That is essentially what vitality represents. You have the most incredible power plant within you. Your heart, your mind, unified to create opportunity for growth, for progress, for raw fucking power. You can feel alive like you've never felt before every day if you take this shit seriously. And the level of intensity that you bring to physical fitness, you must bring to rest and recovery. You must bring to nutrition. These are aligned actions, vertically integrated for one single mission, to create power within you so you can accomplish, you can create momentum, you can be in service, you can support, you can be more productive, you can have an increased capacity for higher quality output. You, in effect, can slow time down by having the power, the clarity, the focus, because you're able to accomplish more with less. Vitality is a special, sacred art form. You know the people in your life that are just always, whew, let's fucking go, no matter what, right? That's vitality. Now you take that and you compound it with a growth-oriented mindset, with your core values, with aligned action, understanding time management, prioritization. Oh, I just got goosebumps. That's a life worth living. But it all starts with vitality. So let's talk about nutrition. Let's talk about understanding the importance of macronutrients balanced to fuel your vitality, to fuel rest and recovery, right? These are synergistic concepts that need to be optimized if you want to tap into vitality in the way we're talking. They need to be optimized. They need clarity. One of the most important things is, are you eating enough? Or are you eating too much? So, if you need support in this, my best advice is that you use an application, of which I have no affiliation to, that tracks your macros. And I know there's going to be some resistance to this idea by some of you, and others are like, oh, this is genius, right? Of course. And I know this. But let's get clear on why and what the outcome is. So there's plenty of apps. I use MacroFactor. I think it's fantastic. You know, MyFitnessPal, there's like fucking 10 million of them. It's less about the app and more about the practice, just like everything that we talk about, right? So I know MacroFactor, and I think a lot of the apps work in a very similar way, but I'm going to speak from my knowledge, which is using MacroFactor, right? It's the simplest way I can move forward with this. But again, it doesn't matter what you use, as long as you enjoy using it and you bring the motherfucking joy to the practice. So, I take a picture of all my food on a scale, and that's it. Couldn't be any easier. What you need, a scale. Set it to grams, always work in grams. Get a bowl, a plate, whatever, that when you put on the scale, you can see the screen. You pull out the app, you set it to AI, and you take a picture of it. So let's say I'm making a recipe. You can go through and weigh out all the ingredients, and you have the total in the pot. Once it's all cooked or whatever, you take a spoonful, you put it on a scale, bang, you know exactly what's in there because you've built out the recipe. Let's say you're grilling some chicken breast, some rice, whatever, carrot, avocado, tomato, some lettuce. You cook the chicken breast, you put it on the scale. Boom, you get the number, take a picture. You want the rice, boom, put it in there, take a picture. 200 grams rice, 138 grams chicken breast. You want to put a boiled egg, take a picture, bang, it's fucking done, it's easy. You do this for a month, boom. Completely new understanding of what you've been eating and how it's been making you feel. Timing, nutrient density, protein, fat, carbohydrates. Getting clarity on how this is either serving you or not. This is the energy that you're consuming to fuel your body with. If you don't take it seriously, you'll never tap into vitality. You don't need to do this forever. You just need to get clarity on your nutrition. And if that means working with an app for 30 days, 60 days, a year, and consistently practicing logging your food, you will understand through time, using your eyes, seeing the data being reflected back to you, what 125, 30, 40 grams of chicken looks like, chicken breast, or whatever, you know? What 200 grams of rice looks like, what the macros are on 6 eggs. I break my fast every day with 6 eggs. 6 eggs plus maybe some tomato, some cucumber, some avocado, 10 grams of butter. I know what 10 grams of butter looks like. I cut it off the fucking block. I've done it so many times. It's easy. So eating the same rotating recipes for a while is the most effective way to create momentum without resistance. Whatever that is for you, you have to do what feels right to you. You have to do what is going to work for you. So I start my day by breaking my fast with 6 eggs. My recipe is so simple. Take my frying pan, put it on low heat, melt some butter. When I have fresh turmeric, I grate the turmeric. I put some black pepper, some salt in the pan. What else do I have? Ooh, avocado's ready. Cut up avocado, put it in the fucking pan. Oh, there's a tomato. Boom, put it in this pan. Crack 6 eggs. Maybe grate some cheese. Maybe not, whatever. Put some bee pollen. Put a little raw honey on there, 5 grams. Once it's done cooking, I eat it right out of the fucking pan. It tastes amazing. Those eggs are perfectly cooked. I am so happy every morning to eat that. It brings so much joy to me. It's about ceremonializing the process, the ritual, the intention of how I want to feel, channeling within me that fucking exuberant life force, preparing the meal, the anticipation, feeling the hunger because I'm fasted, knowing full well how I'm going to feel after I eat it, knowing that it lines up with my goal of eating a balanced meal. Now, we can get into a more granular approach to macronutrients. And so, for example, on days that I train, which is every other day when I'm at the gym, I do tend to consume more carbohydrates in the morning than I do on days that I don't train. But now we're getting into like level 2 here, right? We're addressing the basics with vitality and getting clarity with nutrition, getting clarity with the types of food. Now, you may be a person who has historically eaten a lot of processed foods. Now, processed foods is a massive spectrum. Anything that comes in a package is a processed food. There's variables of processed food, like McDonald's versus a Kind bar, right? Big fucking difference. A Kind bar is a delicious processed food that is nutrient dense and pretty good for you. I eat them every once in a while. They're delicious. whole food ingredients that have been processed into a bar. Anytime you're in the kitchen making anything with a few steps with multiple ingredients, you are processing those ingredients. You are making something from the original origin into something else. So it's about understanding the quality of the nutrients, the quality of the ingredients, how those are playing a role in the way you feel, and whether they're ultimately serving us or not. I'm going to the gym after this. I love recording a podcast and then going training after. Obviously, it depends on the intensity. Today was quite relaxed, so I'm gonna feel particularly charged when I get back. Nutrition, nutrition, nutrition. So, the next action step that I would love for you to consider is being present and considering your actions when preparing food, selecting the ingredients, going out to dinner, being mindful and bringing attention to what it is that you're doing will have a profound impact on your choices, right? You are the one choosing to eat the pint of ice cream, consume like 3,000 calories, and to be hungry 35, 40 minutes later because it's nothing but sugar. Or you're the one choosing to be mindful and say, well, I'm going to create a balanced meal for myself that's going to fuel me so I can have a powerful day. So I can be in alignment with this vision of myself that does not exist in the present moment, only exists in the future. You're not gonna get there eating fucking Big Macs and pints of ice cream. Maybe there's a few people that can do that. They're the outliers. They're not a good example. Most people aren't doing that. Well, those who want to be successful in all aspects of life are not doing that. There's a big difference between making your own pint of ice cream in a Ninja Creamy that is reasonable in calories with a focus on clean, healthy ingredients. You can use things like cottage cheese, avocado, coconut oil, egg yolks, whole fat yogurt. I mean, the list goes on and on. Absolutely nutrient dense, fucking just awesomely delicious, right? Cashews, dates, figs, banana, peanut butter, whatever. Different fresh nuts. I mean, it's like literally just an explosion of deliciousness refueling your body with clarity, with intention. Like, think with the end in mind. What is the outcome that you're looking for. Do you want to feel fat and lethargic? Good. Eat that food. Do you want to feel lean, balanced, and powerful? Good. Eat that food. You want to have the energy to play with your kids? You choose what's going to serve you. And having the capacity after a long day of whatever, and then coming home and having your child or kids, your girlfriend, your wife, your husband, whatever, let's go dancing, let's do this, let's do that, gotta get out of the house, you know, whatever. It's like, oh no, I don't really feel like it, you know. Just want to relax. Relax. You think you've earned relax? Many of us haven't earned relax. We just are so depleted because we treat ourselves like shit that we have no energy left. We're not in a flow of revitalizing ourselves. You know, we know that if you eat a protein-rich meal first thing, and you have constricted the amount of carbohydrates, especially refined carbohydrates, and you focus on fat and protein, it's going to create energy that is sustaining long-term throughout the day. It's not going to crash and burn you out a few hours later. You're going to have a new sense of energy that is stable. Carbohydrates provide high amounts of energy for short periods of time. Protein and fat provide stable energy for longer periods of time. So you don't feel depleted. You're not hungry. The satiety is so much greater with fat and protein. And most people are not eating adequate levels of protein. It is extremely important for normal bodily function to prioritize protein. You will never be fat if you prioritize protein. It's never happened. Never, ever fucking happened. Never happened. Doesn't exist. It's like a mathematical impossibility that if you prioritize protein, you will never be fat. Think about that. Looking to lose weight? Prioritize protein. You will literally melt away. Be like, oh shit, he was right. Yeah. You walk 30, 35, 40 minutes a day, brisk walk. You prioritize protein. You try to lift something heavy a few times a week. You limit distractions when it's getting close to sleep. You ensure that you have enough sleep. It's like the magic pill everybody's after. Fuck Ozempic. People always just want the easy, lazy outcome. Well, sorry, the easy, lazy process. So here's a tool to help you along your way with vitality. 3, 2, 1. 3 hours before bed, stop eating. Limit beverages as well. Like, you want to be completely flushed out by the time you're going to bed, because you don't want to wake up in the middle of the night to pee. 3 hours before bed, stop eating. 2 hours before bed, no more work. 1 hour before bed, no more screens. No more stimulus. Take 1 hour, prepare yourself for bed. Try it for 30 days. Shut the fuck up. Don't say anything. Just do what I say. For 30 days. 3, 2, 1. The end of 30 days, drop a comment. Let me know. Hey, thanks for changing my life. You're welcome. It's not overly complicated. It's really quite a simple strategy to implement. The question is, can you do it? And the answer is yes, of course you can. Will you feel resistance? Yes. Will you not want to do it? Yes. Should you do it anyways? Yes. What do you have to lose? Fuck all. What do you have to gain? Everything. Are you going to do it? Are you going to create a new opportunity for yourself to be able to tap into vitality in a more profound way that amplifies what it is that you want to do? Or will you retreat to comfort, and this hour that we've been together will have just been entertaining? Entertainment, like Netflix. But you're better than that because you're here. You're still with me in this moment. So you know deep down inside of you, you're capable of more. You're not fucking broken. You're just being confronted with resistance that has been so deeply ingrained into your thinking, into your mindset, that it has been the de facto normal. But you don't want to feel like you do anymore. So you're here, listening, dropping in, taking action now, because that's what is required of you in order to feel differently than you do now in this moment. Taking action is the solution that you've been avoiding. And I don't mean taking action in the wrong direction, which is the solution you've been actually implementing, right? It's like anyone who is struggling with I don't want to use the word addiction because, well, I'll use it. Anybody that's been struggling with an addiction, whether it's overeating, drinking, porn, whatever, the action that you're taking is the solution. It's not the problem, right? You go after work, your habit is to go home, pour yourself a drink. It's that drink, that action, that process is the solution to the underlying problem. It's not the problem itself, it's the solution. So let's reframe it in the context of vitality, right? The solution to not feeling alive, vitality. Making difficult choices, taking one step, putting it in front of the other, and never looking back. Drop in Thursday, Everyday Action Live, group coaching, click the link in the description, sign up. There's that zero cost right now. This week, we're going to be talking about vitality. We're going to go deep. Come prepared with your questions. The 1 hour is broken into training where I'll be talking about a specific subject. And this week we're talking about vitality, so we'll go deeper into this topic. Then we're going to be opening it up for group coaching, where you'll be on camera or not, obviously with your voice. You can drop into the chat, get connected, tap into a community of people who are just like you, who are looking to close the gap as quickly, as effectively as possible. Drop in this Thursday. Sign up for Everyday Action using the link in the description. Drop a comment. Let me know how I can be answering and supporting your questions. I'm available to you. This is what I do. I'm here to support you. Thanks so much for dropping in. Have a fucking phenomenal week. And I'll see everybody on Thursday. Peace.